Have you ever pondered how deeply racism is entrenched into America's very core? An unsettling thought, isn't it? Racism, heartbreakingly, remains a significant part of our society, casting an ominous shadow over the land of the free. In this video, we will illuminate this issue, concentrating specifically on the states where racism is most prevalent, according to credible data and studies. These states include Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, and Arkansas, as revealed in the first scene of this video. Indeed, is power. Now let's unravel the facts and figures that paint a harsh depiction of racism in America. Starting from the bottom, we have states like Utah, Hawaii, and Rhode Island with the least amount of reported racism. These places, according to various studies, seem to be leading the way in fostering an environment of equality and respect. The reasons behind Utah, Hawaii, and Rhode Island's low ranking on the racism scale are manifold. Firstly, they often boast a varied population with a rich tapestry cultures and ethnicities. This diversity encourages understanding and acceptance. Secondly, these states have a strong focus on education, with curriculums that emphasize inclusivity and promote the understanding of different cultures. Lastly, they have robust anti-discrimination laws. These laws not only deter racism but also provide a platform for victims to seek justice. Hawaii and Rhode Island may vary, but the common thread is their commitment to combating racism, whether through legislation, education, or fostering an environment of acceptance. These states may not be perfect, but they are making strides in the right direction. Moving up the ladder, we encounter states that land in the middle of the racism spectrum. This middle ground is a mixed bag, filled with states that aren't exactly poster children for racial harmony, but they aren't the worst offenders either. Let's into this further. These states often have a complex history and present situation. They may have made significant strides towards racial equality, but there's still a long road ahead. And that road is paved with challenges such as racial tensions, segregation, and hate crimes. Take a look. Scene 3, featuring states like Pennsylvania and Ohio, for instance. These states have had their fair share of racial incidents, but they've also seen growth in diversity and efforts towards inclusivity. It's this push and pull between the past and the future that keeps them in the middle ground. And then we have Scene 4, showcasing Kansas and Missouri. Here the racial tensions may not be as high, but the segregation levels in some areas are concerning. It's a stark reminder that racism isn't always about overt acts of hate, but can also be seen in the systemic divisions in our society. Hate crime statistics also play a role in this middle ground. In Scene 5, we focus on Colorado and Nevada. The numbers are neither the highest nor the lowest, but they're significant enough to warrant attention. These states show us that there is still much work to be done to combat racism. Brace yourselves as we climb to the summit of our list, landing on the states with the highest number of documented racism cases. We're spotlighting Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama in Scene 4. Mississippi frequently tops the chart as one of the most racially biased states, its reputation marred by its deep-seated history of institutional racism and notable disparities in education and income levels. Louisiana, another state featured in Scene 4, stands out for its significant racial wealth gap and the high incidence of racially fueled hate crimes. We also spotlight Alabama in this scene, a state infamous for its profound history of racial inequality, apparent disparities in education and income, and an alarming rate of hate crimes propelled by racism. These states serve as a harsh wake-up call that the battle against racism is far from over. It's crucial to remember that racism is not confined to these states only. It's a pervasive issue that seeps into every crevice of our nation. As we progress, our goal is to foster a society where every individual, regardless of their racial lineage, is treated with the dignity and respect they. Before we wrap up, remember to subscribe and ring the bell so we can keep producing videos like this one. It's vital to understand that the struggle against racism doesn't cease at awareness. This is simply the initial stage. The actual challenge begins when we educate ourselves, question our biases, and actively decry racism in its numerous forms. It's about initiating hard discussions and refusing to remain silent when we see injustice. It's about deploying our voices, our platforms, and our resources to effect change. Let's move forward today. Let's learn more, do more, and become more than mere observers. And while you're progressing, don't neglect to hit that subscribe button. We'll persist in delivering insightful videos that provoke thought, educate, and motivate you to act. Remember that each of us has a role to play in the fight against racism. Collectively, we can bring about change.